The purpose of this resource is to provide guidance for utilizing scaffolds that are embedded in your EL Education District curriculum. Scaffolding is an instructional method that progressively moves students toward greater independence and understanding during the learning process. It is a temporary support that acknowledges what students already know, the barriers they will face in achieving new learning goals, and the instructional support that will benefit them in negotiating those barriers. Throughout this learning opportunity, we'll focus on examples of scaffolds that already exist within the EL Education lessons using Lesson 9 from Grade 5, Module 1, Unit 2. A scaffold overview document for elementary ELA grades 2 through 5 can be found in Learning Central under the appendix and in the teacher planning tool for your grade level curriculum. Please refer to this document for additional supports as you plan. In this lesson, students will listen to the read aloud and follow along silently to the other chapter called Los Uvas. Again, they will analyze how the chapter fits into the overall structure of the text and make connections. They will then interpret the river metaphors in the novel in triads and use their interpretation to identify themes. Down the road in the next lesson, students will complete the Mid-Unit 2 assessment, in which they will interpret another reoccurring metaphor in Esperanza Rising and the theme it suggests. In advance, strategically group students into triads with at least one strong reader per triad. Each lesson provides a section of supports for English language learners, but these strategies may be helpful to all students regardless of language proficiency. Reflect on the sensitive events in the book and analyze how a metaphor that runs through the story contributes to one of the themes in the book. ELLs may find it challenging to analyze the meaning of the metaphors about the river and how they come together to convey an overall theme in the book. See the Meeting Student Needs column for specific supports. Remember scaffolds from past lessons. Encourage students to add to the graphic organizer they began in Unit 1 and illustrate the main events. Stop often to check for comprehension. Transform the investigation of how were the human rights of the characters in Esperanza Rising threatened, anchor chart, into a kinesthetic activity. Remember, some students may have their own personal story structure organizer. The Universal Design for Learning approach offers flexibility in the way students access material, engage with it, and show what they know. Consider ways to facilitate comprehension by offering opportunities for students to access prior knowledge and review previous material. Use a color coding system to help students make connections between the model paragraphs and the character reaction paragraph anchor chart. Provide scaffolded practice for students who may need additional support with generating the theme. Many students are more engaged when they are given choices. Consider providing multiple versions of the graphic organizer with lines to support students' fine motor skills. Review these vocabulary words. If you made anchor charts with examples of themes and metaphors, review the charts. Also, if you made class hand motions to the word interpret, revisit those also. In Opening B, students are turning and talking to their triad about how the characters are connected and the chapters are connected. And engage in an idea that will aid students in greater understanding would be to print pictures of the fruits and vegetables that are the titles of each chapter, and have students come up to the board and sequence them. Or this can be done in triads. This would give a visual for how the novel is set up, through the way Esperanza sees time, in terms of what is being harvested. In the next portion of the lesson, students will complete a metaphor note catcher. Strategically pair students or work in small groups with students who need heavier support. Complete the note catcher as a shared interactive writing session. Make sure to refer to the metaphor anchor chart you made in an earlier lesson, or provide examples of metaphors with corresponding images, as well as theme examples. Students can act out the river metaphors, or create sentence frames for the students for the last column of the chart. Scaffolding is an instructional method that progressively moves students toward greater independence and understanding during the learning process. Refer to the EL Education Scaffold Overview for grades 2 through 5 for additional resources that may provide further support when planning for and implementing instruction. As a reminder, additional resources and professional learning videos can be found on Learning Central under the appendix within each grade level module and in the teacher planning tools for your grade level curriculum. If you need more assistance with differentiating scaffolding lessons, you may wish to reach out to the experts in your building, the ESL teacher, the special education specialist, the intervention team facilitator, or contact the central office coordinating teachers assigned to your school for support.